All right, this is Katie, and welcome back to How Are We Going to Install Server. Now, to begin with, you can use, there's different virtual systems to install server. What you do not want to do is to install it on your operating system or over what you currently have. So what we do often is use a virtual system to kind of use a partition of our hard drive to run something else. So on a Mac OS, you can do it as well. VirtualBox is what I think most of my Mac students are using, even to install a Windows system. But I'm not familiar with Macs at all, so you'll have to try it out on VirtualBox. And I also have Linux students using VirtualBox, so you can try that. But what we have in the classroom and what we're recommending in the textbook is something called VM Player, and it's a free download. So you want to go out to this site, which I'll share with you, and then you want to select which one you're using. So I already installed the Windows VM player, so just click download, open up your download folder, and then install it. Now, one thing that you might have to do is set up virtualization on the BIOS. So if it doesn't work, you have to do this one time where you go into the BIOS of your computer. You do that when your computer comes up, you hit F1 or F12 or whatever the setting is for your laptop or computer to get to the BIOS, and then you go to CPU settings and turn on virtualization. So from disabled, you enable it, and then you can run it. So make sure you install some virtual system. VM Player is pretty easy to install, and here's my icon. These are the systems that we have. I'm going to remove that one. These are the systems that we have in the classroom. So if you're in the classroom, you can use that. If you're working online, then you'll want to create your own. So I'm going to create a new virtual machine. What I'm going to do here is point to where my OS is. Now this may seem contradictory, but I also teach a Linux course, so I had a OpenSUSE one. But I'm going to point to, it's my OpenSUSE ISO, I'm going to point to my Windows that I just downloaded. So that is here, and it's an ISO as well. Okay, and then I'll hit next, and here's my product key. Now this is when I registered with DreamSpark to get this software. It gave me my product key. So I'm using that. H4, your product key will be unique. And I don't know that I should be sharing this part, but I am anyway. But don't put in my product key. Get your own. Get it through DreamSpark. XWGB. I want to do data center. I'm going to put in my full name. I won't put spaces in it. And I'm on my laptop, so I can do login automatically. But here's the thing. This is my server. I'm the only one who has control over it. I'm writing down my information because if I cannot remember how I log into my server using the VMware, then I'm going to have to start over. And sometimes, believe it or not, I forget my passwords. So I'm writing down mine. Next, Windows Server. I'm gonna add my name to this, and this is our actually release to data center. And I'm gonna add Katie Vander Meer. I'm gonna leave my default location and hit next. Oh, I already have one that exists. Let me go clean that out real quick. I've tried this several times, so let me pause that, clean that out, and then I'll come right back. Okay, I just deleted what was already there, so I'm going to leave the path. And then I'll hit next. I'm going to store this on a single drive instead of multiple drives. And I'm going to hit finish through that screen. And I'm going to hope, okay, sounds good. This is for VMware, which we just did. I'm going to remind me later on that. Now here I'm in I have the different screens. I have my outside screen, then I have my virtual system. So I'm going to click in my virtual system, and I don't have mouse control right now. Control-Alt gives you mouse control, so you can go back to your operating system. And I'm starting to install Windows Server. So I think that I will let this go in case we get any problems. It might just be long, tedious. Let's see how we're going with the installation. But remember that this is a virtual system where we are installing our server on so that we can do our in-class activities. Now, I probably will pause and just let it go, because sometimes installing servers, just like installing software, takes a long time. But as you can see, it's started. This is a good sign. We've put in our key, downloaded it, we're installing our software. I'm 3% done, 4 now, and we're going through the stuff. So what we'll end up with at the end is our server that's installed on this VM workstation, our VM player. So when I get to chapter 1 and I want to do the in-class activities, I launch VM player, I launch my server, and I get hands-on experience as if it was a real server. So that's really cool. I am going to, while that's going, I'm going to pause the video, and then once it gets to something that requires interaction, I will stop it so that you can know what to do. Okay, I'm picking back up after my installation worked. Let's see, although easy install failed to automatically install VM tools. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. Pop that out. We have a server. This is our server dashboard. You don't want to have a command line. You want to have a GUI interface. We can manage things like users and groups, and file storages, volumes. So this is what we have. Configure this local server. Not yet. We're going to do that with our first assignments after we get everything working out. But what we see here is what you would see when you create a new server. So we're good. One server, manageable, one announcement, no details. Good. Okay, so we're good to go. We're ready. We've got our keys. We've got VM player installed. We've got server installed. I'm going to shut down my virtual player. So when you do that, I'm going to power it off, shut down, yes, and that closes out my VM player. I want to start it again. I've already got it installed, so I just click here, play virtual machine, and it will load. No, don't. Do you want to connect every time? Yes. I probably should do that. Okay. And it's loading my server again. Shouldn't take too long. It's just like loading an operating system, but it's a network operating system. So when I get my book out, I have my server, Control-Alt-Delete to sign in. Oops, not that Control-Alt-Delete. Let me go click in my environment. Control-Delete to sign in. Windows Server 2012. This is the password. I said you better write it down because if you forget what it is, then you're in trouble. You'll need to reinstall it. This is your server. And guess what? I wrote my notes. Get my book. Oh, this is the event tracker. Why did we shut down unexpectedly? Other. No big deal. Normal shutdown. And then we're back to the server environment. Now, we have read through Chapter 1. We started with the basics of what the certification test is. So what we're going to do, once you get this all installed, and I'll create an assignment so that everybody knows how to do it, and that I know that you've got it connected, we're picking up on Chapter 1 and page 9, where it shows you the Server Manager dashboard view. And the picture in the book is just like the picture on my computer screen now. And then we're going to do, with this learning module, a series of these activities that are in the class. It's different than lab connections, because what this does is it gives us the hands-on knowledge and the ability. And when we work with our virtual system, we can save our settings. So without going any further, what I want you to do is get this working. Yep, I'm going to log right out of here again. Exit that. Power it off. My virtual system's ready to go. There's my key. Go delete it. Okay, an overview. I made a video on how to connect the DreamSpark. Watch that. After that, you're watching this. Download VM Player, install it. You might have to check your BIOS. When you check your BIOS, you hit F1 or F12. When you get into that, you change your control settings so that you can use virtual systems or virtualization. You only have to do that once. If you've already used virtualization, you won't have to do it again. It shouldn't be a problem. If you get an error, give me a call and I'll walk you through it, or send me an email or your professor an email. Once you get VM Player downloaded, you already have the Windows Server downloaded. Mine was downloaded to my downloads directory. You launch VM Player. You create mine was here, right here. And it's a 4 gig file, so make sure you have enough space. You go out to VMware, you create a new virtual machine, and you change your iOS, the installer disk image, to wherever your location is for the iOS you installed, and hit next. Follow the settings, install your server, and you're ready to go. I'm so happy that worked. I'm so happy we're making progress finally, and I will talk to you soon with what to do with Chapter 1 and the activities in that. Have a great night or day or afternoon.